Welcome everybody to the B2B Syndicate. All right, folks, in this video, what we're going to talk about is what are the 5 key elements that you absolutely must research before a discovery meeting with a new prospect. Now, especially if you watched our other video covering the hypothesis-driven disco call framework, this is the exact research process you want to go through in order to form the hypothesis in the first place. But even if you're not doing a hypothesis, this is exactly what I recommend researching. That way you show up to a call well prepared, you gain some credibility with the prospect, and more importantly, you're able to make it as effective as possible. So now that we know what we're getting into, let's get into the video. Also guys, before we get into this, don't forget to like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and make sure, if you haven't already, you sign up for our free weekly newsletter. All right guys, so now you know what to expect. Let's get into what you need to research right now. All right guys, point number 1 that you want to look at on LinkedIn is look at what they've actually posted. What has the company page posted? And you want to look out for any announcements about partnerships, anything about new products, anything about mergers and acquisitions, or new people joining the company. And I recommend not going back any further than 12 months in terms of their post history, because if something's older than 12 months, it's probably not relevant and not going to make you look good if you bring up year-old information on a discovery call. And the other thing on their LinkedIn page, guys, once you get to the company LinkedIn page, you want to click on the Insights tab, okay? And when you get to the Insights tab, you want to scroll down to where it says Senior Management Hires or Recent Senior Management Hires. And take a look at if anybody very senior in the company, especially C-level executives, have been hired. Now you want to do this because this is going to give you an indication of where they're investing as a business. For example, if you see a new chief marketing officer and a new chief sales officer, well guess what? They're probably investing in sales and marketing. If you see a new CTO, right, they're probably investing in technology. So seeing who they hire can give you an idea of where they're trying to make a difference in their business and give you a data point that you can use to form your hypothesis. All right guys, the next thing on LinkedIn we want to do is scan the profiles of these C-level executives at the company. So at minimum, you should be looking at the CEO's LinkedIn, the CFO's LinkedIn, the CMO's LinkedIn, and any other C-level executive that you care about, right? Like maybe you sell a product for chief supply chain officers. Look at their LinkedIn too if they have one. And what you want to look for on their profiles are, number 1, common connections. Number 2, just like you did with their company, look at their post history, see what they're posting about. You might find something they care about. Or you might even find an interview or a podcast as well. And even look at the past companies they worked for. And the reason you want to do this is because they've probably been hired at the most recent company to produce results that they produced at past companies. All right guys, the next thing we want to do is head over to our friend Google, and we want to do at least a Google News search on the company name. Once you do that, you want to scan some of the most recent articles that are coming up about this company to see what's the news, what do they got cooking, what do they got going on, and what are they sharing with the world. The next thing I'd also do is Google the name of the company and the C-level executives as well to see if they've been brought up in any interviews, podcasts, or anything like that. Now, when it comes to interviews and podcasts, which can be a great thing to look at before a prospect meeting and a good way to get info, a lot of people don't know about listennotes.com. And if you haven't heard about this yet, it is a search engine for podcasts and interviews. So literally you type in the name of any person you want to research and it'll show you if they've been on a podcast. And guess what? Now you can listen to the podcast and see what are some things that you might want to bring to your discovery call. The last place we want to go is the company website. And on the company website, I like to look at a few things. Number 1, you're going to look at the careers page. Okay, who are they hiring? What kind of talent are they seeking? Because again, that's another data point you can use to understand where are they making investments in the business. Number 2, look at the news and blogs, right? See what they're posting about, because this is going to tell you what challenges they're solving for customers and what they're seeing in the marketplace. Next, guys, you've got to look at the case studies. Look at the case studies because that'll give you an indication of the results and the outcomes they are producing for customers. And guess what? If you can influence the outcomes that they produce for their customers or make them even better, you've got a great reason for them to buy your product. And personally, I also like to look at the About Us page just so you can get some idea about the company history, who they are, what they do, the audience they serve, and how they've been evolving since starting the company. So there you have it, guys. Those are the elements, specific elements that we like to research before a discovery call to not only show up with a hypothesis, but just generally be prepared to have the best discovery call possible. Number 1, we talked about using LinkedIn. We talked about the Insights tab and how to look at the company posts. Number 2, we talked about looking at the C-level executives' LinkedIn bios and actually checking those profiles out to see what they're posting about, as well as past places they've worked. Next, we talked about going over to Google and doing some specific Google searches on the company. Next, we talked about listennotes.com and how to find any podcast appearances that people of interest have been on. And then last but not least, we talked about what to look at on the company website itself. So there you have it, guys. These are the things we need to research before a call to be as prepared as possible and have an awesome disco meeting. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and got value from it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, like the video as well, and don't forget to sign up for our free weekly newsletter where we're dropping the most actionable advice on sales, psychology, and communication straight to your inbox at no cost. With that said, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Keep selling out there, and we'll catch you all in the next video. Take it easy now.